is Josh Parchman, and today we're back again with another video. I gotta talk about some of the things that happened on Monday Night Raw because it was one, I watched it, and two, it was fresh on my mind. I'm posting this video late AF, but nonetheless, oh shoot, there you go. Hold on now. There we go. Now we good. Anyway, let's do it. We're gonna talk about the highlights. We ain't gonna talk about like everything on the show. Started off with John Cena basically saying that, like I ain't gonna cover everything, but I'm gonna cover what I remember. Bro, John Cena was basically saying like, I've been the best you had to offer. You wanted R-Truth, you wanted Cody, you wanted Randy Orton, and I beat them all. And if you're gonna use your voices to bring somebody back, don't bring back some class clown, goof like R-Truth. Bring back somebody that's competition because I've beaten like the best you have to offer. Basically, that's why he said he beat, Cody, Randy, and even R-Truth. You know what I'm saying? So, making fun of the fans for bringing back R-Truth because he's saying that he's just a clown, he's just a joke, which he proved that he was not about that no more later on in the night. But I was thinking to myself the entire time, especially when he said that like y'all haven't brought me any competition and I've beaten the best you guys have like asked for and stuff. I was immediately like, CM Punk. See, well, I was thinking CM Punk when he came out there. I was like, bro, please have CM Punk interrupt him, bro, because he's on Monday Night Raw. He's already kind of faced everybody. That's the only person he hadn't faced that we know is gonna be a big feud down memory lane. Especially. So yeah, I was hoping for that, and that is what we got, man. We heard the static, and I got done. Well, I heard the report that they were gonna potentially have a segment tonight, on Twitter XX, Twitter. Follow me, Twitter XX, right there. DJ's a Prodigy. You know what I'm saying? All them socials down below. Anyway, but yeah, heard that, and I was like, okay, bet. And we got it, bro. And I was rejoicing. And I was like, yes, because I was like, yo, this is my childhood, man. These are not only are these two of the best guys to ever put, well, two of the greats, but also two of the best guys to ever put a microphone to their goddamn mouth when they got done cut a promo. Both of these guys are infamous for having great promos and selling you on matches and who they are and all that. I mean, these are just two of the best on the mic. And obviously they had an iconic feud that some could even say was better than the Randy Orton feud that he had. And I was around to see, I grew up in the PG era, so that kind of 2011 to like 2013, 14 time. So obviously you could imagine, other than him and Randy Orton, this was the feud that I grew up on. This is my big feud. This is my Rock and Stone Cold. This is my biggest feud this was like the biggest feud when I was watching wrestling as a kid, as a little 6-year-old and whatnot. So you can imagine this was freaking massive for me. But anyway, CM Punk basically says that he's for the people. He ain't doing this for TKO. He doing this for the people. He ain't, or he was basically starting off the promo saying, isn't it crazy how life happens? Because I was known as like the outcast, the renegade, the outsider, the disruptor. But yet it seems like I'm the one that's defending the company, and you're the one that's trying to ruin it, right? Because he's ruining wrestling and stuff. Like, you're trying to ruin the thing that created you, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, crazy how you're the one trying to ruin it, and I'm the one defending it. But understand, like, I ain't defending the billionaires. I'm doing this for the people. And he said that I don't, unlike you, I don't kiss my final boss's ass. You know what I'm saying? Referring to the final boss, The Rock. You know what I'm saying? And him selling his soul and stuff. And the fans did chant, "You sold out." And CM Punk said that he was doing this for the people because, they chose him in 2011. Are you mad because, he was asking Cena what was he mad about, right? Because he's a bad guy now. So he was asking him, what is he mad about? You know what I'm saying? Because they chose me in 2011 to be the guy. They chose me as the voice of the voiceless, and they didn't choose you. You know what I'm saying? Saying that the fans didn't choose John Cena to be the next guy up, but they chose CM Punk. And he was also saying that he knows what that title does to people, and it corrupts people and makes them evil. So he was saying when he had came back, that wasn't what he initially wanted to win, because he knows what that championship does to people, because it did it to him in 2012 when he, had that 434-day reign and stuff like that. And then he also said to Cena that he remembers that at Elimination Chamber, right before he lost consciousness from, the STF Cena submission move, he said, the thing I heard you say before I lost consciousness was, "I'm sorry." And it's because you realize in the future that you're going to have to apologize for all this, and what you're doing is not right. You know what I'm saying? You know what you're doing is wrong. So I think that's just pretty much foreshadowing the inevitable Cena heel turn, because we all know that he's going to leave as a face. So whenever they decide to do it, maybe SummerSlam, after SummerSlam, somewhere around there, August or a little more past August, that's probably like, so probably closer to the fall is probably when he's going to turn back face. So there's planting seeds for that, and Cena having that kind of confused look on his face a little bit, teasing it for when, like I said, it probably happens around maybe the fall when he turns back face. But or a little bit before that. But anyway, yeah, he says all that. He said he's doing this for the people, and he understands that title, winning that title, turns people into a monster. Like I said, how he did in 2012, it did to him. And he said, but I understand that considering you've become a monster, I'm gonna have to become a monster too to take that WWE Championship away from you. And if you were a real man, if you had any balls, if you're more callback to this promo back then when he said, if you're more Boston Red Sox than you are the New York Yankees, then you would accept my challenge for the WWE Championship tonight in Phoenix, Arizona. So that was a callback to when he told John Cena that you are what you hate. You're no longer the Red Sox, or you're no longer the Boston Red Sox. You are now the New York Yankees. And then John Cena punched CM Punk. I remember that segment when I went back to watch some of my wrestling history when I was getting back into wrestling around 2018. But anyway, that was a callback there. And he also, the first thing he opened with Punk actually did was, like, I think he said, like, are you comfortable and stuff like that. And that was kind of a callback to when he did the pipe bomb, and he asked him, I hope you're as, well, I think he asked him, well, it was a do you have your attention now? And it was like, I hope you're comfortable. Or I think in the pipe bomb, he was like, I hope you're in as much pain as possible, but basically still able to hear what he's saying. So yeah, that was kind of a callback to the pipe bomb. Which, funny enough, he was like, if you're gonna, Punk was saying he's gonna get the truth, and or when you get the truth, you're gonna get Ron Killings, which was a little bar there, right? Because he's gonna tell him the truth, but also our truth, Ron Killings and all that. Anyway, he said he was gonna challenge him for the WWE Championship. And yeah, Cena said, you want to do this like for the WWE Championship? It's going to be the best in the world versus the greatest of all time for the undisputed WWE Championship. Let's do it. But then he said, and the crowd was rejoicing like, yes, we're going to do it. And then he said, but not tonight. And he said, you're going to do it in Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions. So the match then was later confirmed in the show that they're going to do it there. John Cena versus CM Punk at Night of Champions. So, a lot of people wanted this at least to be at SummerSlam, and I thought when he said not tonight, I thought he was gonna announce it for SummerSlam, because they only have one more PLE before SummerSlam, and that is Night of Champions. Everything else is like I think they have like a Saturday night's main event, but that's it. Like, they don't have anything. The next PLE after Night of Champions is SummerSlam, because the other thing I think is like a Saturday night's main event. I looked it up, so yeah. I wasn't thinking they were going to do it in Saudi. I'm not the biggest fan of them doing it in Saudi, because an iconic match like this, they could have easily done Money in the Bank, where they had their probably most infamous match. And also SummerSlam, they had a infamous match at SummerSlam as well. So 2 PLEs that would have been an easy callback PLE to do it at. Either Money in the Bank, like they didn't this year, or SummerSlam. And they didn't. Now, part of me really hopes that they run it. They at least do because I mean, this would be a less than 2-month feud. So I would hope they would run it back at SummerSlam, like do another match, because honestly, between now and SummerSlam, which will cross Night of Champions and Saturday Night's main event, between now and SummerSlam, that's not even 2 months. So I'm thinking, like, I feel there should be a reason they could. I would hope they do a rematch at SummerSlam, because them just having their like one final time match in Saudi, no offense to them, but shout out to my Saudi fans, but especially of mine, you know what I'm saying? But I was hoping they would do that in the States, to be honest. If I'm just to fit the nostalgic vibe, you know what I'm saying? Not that they're probably gonna go all the way with it, but it's kind of funny because for those who don't know, CM Punk said some bad things about the Saudi. I think he said I think it was on Twitter or something like that. He said to the Miz at the time before he returned to WWE, at some point in time before he returned to WWE, he was like, I think he told him to like suck a bloody Saudi covered cock or something like that. He said something. He was like, it was wild. He said something along the lines of that. So it's funny that they're making him go to Saudi. I think that was Triple H being petty. But anyway, that happened. And then the next thing I think we got into was the women's King of the Ring, because they were doing King of the Ring matches. King of the Ring for the women's, Queen of the Ring, I guess technically for the women's, and it was Liv Morgan versus Roxanne Perez versus is gonna hit me at some point versus Rhea Ripley versus Kairi Sane. So it was a good match, a good fatal four way, both fatal four way matches on the men's side and the women's side for the first round of getting into the King and Queen of the Ring. Both were freaking great, man. Beforehand, it was a backstage promo with Roxanne saying that she's gonna help. It was like, let's help each other out and stuff like that, because Roxanne's involved in Judgment Day, and she was like, Liv was just saying like, yo, it's best for you just get out my way, basically. And then they proceeded to wrestle, and the finish was, like I said, it was a good match. Finish was Rhea was gonna get a pin, then her big bodyguard Raquel Rodriguez pulled her out of the ring. Kairi took them out from jumping off the top rope. And then I think Kairi was about to get the win. Was it on Liv Morgan or something like that? And Roxanne came from behind and pinned her. I think she rolled her up 1, 2, 3, and Roxanne got the win. And Finn was happy about it when they got backstage, but Liv was not. And Dom wasn't too happy about it either. So obviously Finn is stirring the pot by trying to basically boot Liv and get Roxanne in there. And yeah, they're having a whole issue there with the Judgment Day. So that story is progressing. And Liv is steaming she's not cool with it, but she's, not as angry about it. She's angry about it, but not like to that crash out degree. You know what I'm saying? So they got issues there. But after the match, immediately after the match, I think that's when R-Truth came and said that, hey, bro, he came out there in his hoodie, took it off and stuff like that, and stood on top of the announce desk with a microphone. And he said, don't let anybody ever tell you, the fans, he's talking about, obviously, that your voices don't matter, because your voices is what brought R-Truth back. I was one of the people that was like, bro, R-Truth, like, what the heck? Thank you, R-Truth, and stuff like that. So the we want, y'all say that we want truth, and that basically, him basically, I'm guessing, let's be honest, shooting on the mic, saying, as in telling it like it is, rather than making it up. Like, y'all are the ones who brought me back. Y'all the ones who made them, have to bring me back and stuff like that. And that y'all voices matter. He said, R-Truth is great. You know what I'm saying? R-Truth is funny. R-Truth can be kind. But the problem is R-Truth can be kind of too funny and too nice and too forgiving. But me, no, I ain't. Like, basically, you ain't about to mess with me. Like, yeah, the hell with that type of thing. And so what he did after that was he told the fans that they matter and that their voices were heard and all that, and that R-Truth is great and all. I'm glad y'all brought R-Truth back, because he said, I like R-Truth too, but I'm also doing this for me. And he said, like I said, R-Truth is too kind, too forgiving, and too funny. So he pulled out a pair of scissors out his pocket and cut all of his dreads off live right there in the middle of the ring. Cut all it. He had it parted up and stuff. So he cut about 4 sides to get all his dreads. And he said, the truth has set me free, which is what he said back in 2011, I think, when he was teaming up with the Miz and stuff. He said, the truth will set me free, and I am the truth, and I will tell nothing but the truth. And it was like, what was he say? It was like truth, nothing but the truth. And I think it was like, I will tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, or something like that. And then he was like, put some respect on my damn name, and dropped the mic, left the ring. Great. And basically saying that he ain't R-Truth, he's Ron Killings. You know what I'm saying? So that was great. I've seen some of the clips in TNA of him, and I actually seen a full promo of him in TNA. And if it's Ron Killings, anything like that we're seemingly getting, and that we're getting a now serious R-Truth, which is Ron Killings, that's going to be fantastic, man. Hopefully that's what we get. Hopefully that's entertaining television, and hopefully they give it a serious run, So we're getting Ron Killings, man. I'm glad they're bringing him back different, bringing him something serious. So if anything, the firing and us bringing him back could have unlocked something different now, because I was one of those people that was like, bro, it'd be dope if we actually consider. I had seen clips of Ron Killings in TNA. I was like, yo, if we ever get him like this in WWE, like, I would love to see that, because like, he can be taken seriously. Like, he's not like he's just good for laughs. Like, if you want to take him seriously, he has that in him, and it seems like we're finally getting it, man. So who knows, the firing could have triggered something into to maybe now make it a storyline, now that we brought him back and they turned it into a storyline. So that should be great. And then the other thing we saw was I forgot to say, after the CM Punk John Cena confrontation, Seth came. Could you imagine? Seth came out there. He had his briefcase. He had his posse. You know what I'm saying, at the top of the ramp, but they didn't have any interaction. But backstage, he was basically saying that no matter what y'all got going on, whatever y'all do to the WWE Championship match, I got the briefcase and I can take it at any time. Basically, reminding people of that. And basically telling Braun the guy done get the job done, and Braun hits the ho-ho, you know what I'm saying? Goes out there, and that leads me to the King of the Ring match, which was Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker versus Penta versus the Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio. Another great match. He hit like a spear on Penta on the out. I'm just gonna say the finish. I'm not gonna go through everything. But Braun started off beating up everybody. He beat up everybody at the beginning, but then the finish was Braun Breaker hit a spear on the outside to Penta. And LA Knight, out of nowhere, LA Knight comes in, kicks Braun in the stomach, hits a BFT on the floor to Braun Breaker, and leaps the barricade, gets the heck up on out of there like he's R-Truth at Money in the Bank, or CM Punk at Money in the Bank is only 11. He just hightails it out of there. And that leads to Sammy hitting the exploder into the corner on Dominic Mysterio, and he does pin the Intercontinental Champion, Dominic Mysterio, after hitting a haluva kick and pinning him 1, 2, 3. And Sammy is popular in Saudi Arabia, so I can see him winning this whole thing. Now, some people say either he wins this, or some people say that he maybe wins the Royal Rumble, because next year the Royal Rumble will be in Saudi. So I don't know if they're going to wait till the Royal Rumble to pull the trigger, or if they're going to do it here. But either way, I could see Sammy doing it, man. I could see him even beating maybe a Seth at SummerSlam, I should say, because that's what it's going to lead to. King of the Ring winner is going to challenge their brand's champion, whether SmackDown or who. If you're on SmackDown and you win the King of the Ring, you challenge, whoever the WWE champion. And then obviously on Raw, a Raw superstar wins it, they challenge the World Heavyweight Champion at SummerSlam. So I could see Sammy winning this thing and challenging Seth at SummerSlam, because I would think he would have cashed in by now. But we'll talk about that when we get to the main event, as far as how this cash-in is going to work and who it's going to be against and all that. But yeah, LA Knight got in the mix, and he costed Braun Breaker the match. Now, LA Knight is in the tournament. He's in a fatal four-way. I think it's going to be against Aleister Black, Carmelo Hayes, and Randy Orton on SmackDown. Now, I don't know if they're going to have Braun Breaker cost him his match or if he's going to advance, but they're doing a storyline with LA Knight and Seth, which is another thing I think was reported on the internet. So, and it seemed to be true, man, because LA Knight costed Braun Breaker, who's obviously a part of Seth's group. He costed him the match, and I understand why now. I thought it took me some time to think of like what would make them, which I'm glad, because if he's not going to win Money in the Bank like I thought he should have, you need to elevate him to the main event scene, because if he's already a 2-time U.S. champion and has pretty much faced all of SmackDown's mid-carders, like there's nothing else you could do with a guy like that who's still over with the crowd. You got to elevate a guy like that. Even if you're not going to give him a world title, you got to at least elevate him to a main event feud, you know what I'm saying, with more main event talent. And it seems they're doing that. It seems like they're even aware of that. So they're putting him in the story with Seth, and I thought about it. It's for 3 reasons. One, LA Knight is over, so it makes sense that he's working with Seth, because he's a guy that's over with the audience and has stayed over and has already done all he could in the mid-card, so it makes sense that they would elevate him to a Seth Rollins. 2, remember, they beat him up on SmackDown when he was having his match with Aleister Black. They beat him up on SmackDown, and then they costed him the match when Seth hit a stomp on LA Knight before he went up to the ladder and grabbed the briefcase. But also, he got speared at Money in the Bank when Seth called for his goons to beat everybody up so that he could, obviously win the Money in the Bank match. So they beat him up. So storyline-wise, it makes sense, because they've costed him the Money in the Bank match by attacking him at Money in the Bank, Seth and his group, and then they also attacked him on SmackDown before Money in the Bank. So that's the second reason. And then the third reason is, if you think about it, Seth is out of people to work with. Remember, all of his ops are busy now, right? Sammy is going to be focused on King of the Ring, which he had I think after his win during commercial, he had an interaction with Karrion Kross. So good to see Karrion Kross got a pop from the crowd, and he's getting more, over and stuff like that. That's great to see. Obviously influencing him, saying like, you finally, did something for yourself and stuff like that. So that was that thing. But yeah, Sammy, all of the people Seth are feuding with is busy with something else. Jay is concerned now with his World Heavyweight Championship against Gunther. He's busy with that. So that's an op that of Seth's that's busy with something else, right? Jay with the World Heavyweight Championship. Sammy's focused now on winning King of the Ring now that he's advanced. And CM Punk is going after John Cena right now. So all of Seth's ops are busy with something. Sammy with King of the Ring, Jay with the World Heavyweight Championship, and now CM Punk going after the John Cena's WWE Championship. So all of the guys he made enemies out of are all now busy with something else. So it also, that's another reason why it makes sense for LA Knight to be involved in a feud with Seth now. He's over. He's already and has already accomplished things as a mid Carter, enough as a mid Carter. They attacked him on Friday before Money in the Bank and at Money in the Bank. And then the third thing is all of Seth's ops are busy with other stuff, so they gotta have some other over conquering hero that they can, go against. So LA Knight Seth program, sign me up. I'm one of those people, for those who don't know, that said LA Knight is a main event guy, man. If you can get over as fast as he has and stay over, I think there might be something to him. You know what I'm saying? So glad to see it. Glad to see that he got into the main event. Funny enough, him and Braun both became 2-time mid-card champions and then moved on in the program with Seth. Funny how that works. Braun, after becoming a 2-time Intercontinental Champion, is now with Seth, and now LA Knight is seemingly going to be feuding with Seth after becoming a 2-time U.S. champ. So funny how it's like when you're an over guy and you get done with the mid card, they move you in there with Seth. But anyway, I think the only other thing that happened tonight was Nikki Bella cut a promo called Stephanie Vacquay when she was trying to hype up the women's division and promoting Evolution. That was funny. And Liv came out there and said, I got something you don't, a man and a title. You know what I'm saying? And Nikki came and said, but we don't know if that man is even yours because of Roxanne, and that, it seems like she took your man and your title shot because she lost her Queen of the Ring qualifying match, and then Liv hit an oblivion on Nikki after saying that all she'll ever be known as is a TV reality star. So that was a nice little segment. Then the main event of the evening was Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, people like me thought it was a nice little match. People like me thought it was gonna end with at least a cash-in attempt. Like just something that would have made it more of an explosive, like cool finish and close to the Monday Night Raw, and would have made it even maybe a way that maybe Jey could retain because of the cash-in. Right? There's some type of way Jey can retain the championship, or if he loses it, right, that it can be to some type of involvement, right? But no. They just straight up said, you know what, Jey, you had your run. We gave you the goddamn world championship after capitalizing on your yeet momentum and stuff like that. We made your world champion. We made the main event Jey Uso truly be a main event or whatnot. We done with that now. We going back to what we think is a real world champion, which is Gunther, because Gunther passed out Jey. He didn't make him tap like how Jey did the Gunther at Mania. They were exchanging chokeholds, and Gunther got his in, and eventually Jey passed out, man, and that was it. So that was the end of Monday Night Raw, and it was Jey is down there on the floor in defeat alongside his son, who he came with the ring with when he was doing his entrance, and yeah, that's how the show ended. And people, I don't know how, part of me is like, I like Jey Uso, but part of me wanted him to be more serious, and he kind of was, but then he really wasn't. And the thing about this title reign was, it was memorable because there wasn't much to remember, so it was easy to remember. The only thing he did was he had a great match with Seth, had an match with Logan because they had so many commercials, so we didn't really get to see it, and it was quick. So the one with Logan didn't even get a fair chance. And then he had a good match at Money in the Bank, but he did not win even a title defense. That was just a match he had as the world champion. That wasn't even a defense. So, yeah, I mean, we remember his title reign because they didn't really do much. I think on Twitter I saw it was like it ended after, I think it was a total of 51 days. So they said whether it's Intercontinental title, World Heavyweight title, they said Jey Uso as a single star, they said we are never going to let this man have a real run, because both of his runs as singles champion, whether Intercontinental or World Heavyweight champion, were both short. Like both didn't even reach 100 days. Like that's freaking crazy. Like I said, I didn't think he was going to hold it for a long time, because especially knowing how they want to book Gunther so strong, I didn't think Gunther was gonna, it was hard for me to believe he would lose to Jay again, like I said, unless there was, like I said, something more interesting, like an attempted cash in, but maybe Roman returns or something like that to stop him, or just something of like an electric, exciting finish, even whether if Jay would have won or not, some type of electric finish. But nah, we just got a simple, like, nah, Gunther just got his win back after now have beaten Jay 4 out of the 5 times they faced each other. Gunther has won 4 of them now. And Jay obviously the one at WrestleMania. So that's it, man. That's how they ended. Like I said, I'm I'm disappointed a little bit because I just thought if Jay was gonna lose his world championship, because I wasn't somebody who even thought he was gonna hold it long, but I didn't think he was gonna hold it like this short. Like I thought we would have made, like I said, that 100-day mark. I thought we might have gotten there. You know what I'm saying? Thought we might have at least gotten there. You know what I'm saying? But nah, he held it for a total of like. He held it for 1 PLE. Think about it. After WrestleMania, the only PLE he was the champ was Money in the Bank. That was it. So his one good title defense didn't even happen on a PLE. It happened on a Monday Night Raw against Seth. So yeah, and that was his first title defense. So he only had 2 successful title defenses against Seth and Logan. And the Logan match was that Saturday Night's Main Event, and it didn't, like I said, even get a fair amount of time on air because of all the commercials. So, and was kind of a quick match too. So, yeah, it just sucks. He didn't get much of a reign, man. And I get, like I said, and it goes to show you, they probably really, when it came to Jay, they probably only thought, you know what, bud, we didn't really want to make you world champion that bad, but you got so over that we kind of felt we had to do it. And if you need any further proof that that's what they thought, he lost tonight on a Monday Night Raw in Phoenix. That's when he lost the World Heavyweight Championship on a Monday Night Raw in Phoenix, and he didn't even cross 2 months, like not even 60 days as champion. Like, come on, bro. But anyway, y'all let me know how y'all felt about it. I thought if the title reign was going to end tonight, it at least should have had a more exciting finish. Like I said, cash-in attempt of some sort, you know, something that would have made it more fun and exciting than just, oh, he just passed out. Like, you know, gotta have more excitement than that, man. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't think he was gonna lose it tonight. And then I didn't especially think he was going to lose it so simple like that. So like I said, I guess they just felt, you know what, Yeet man, we gave you the world title. That should be enough. They said, we don't got to give you a good reign. We don't got to give you a good reign, nor a decent reign, nor a long reign, nor a semi-long reign, or that long of a reign. We just going to give you a short reign. Like, anyway, y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. Y'all think he got done dirty by just having him lose it? Not even at least on a PLE, but then on top of that, not even hold it for 2 months. But anyway, at the end of the day, what can I say, man? It is what it is. And what it's going to be is probably continue to come out with the content, the videos, bangs, and in doing my thing and doing it well and putting in, as I'm always going to say on the channel, because it's the way of life, and that's going to put in the work, grind, time, and effort to do what we need to do to get where we need to be, which in my case is the top of the YouTube and or just content creation game. And I need y'all's help doing that by hitting the like, comment, and subscribe button so we can run all these channels up, run all these medias up, and take over the world by storm, man. Love and appreciate you guys. We're going to keep doing our thing, and that is the vibe that DJ's on.